in my major project, I might work with groups of people that have different mental illnesses, and they're not always
Oh
completely
yes.
alert and aware of the camera. And I remember in the film there was one shot where she kind of comes up and waves to the camera or notices the existence of the camera. And I was wondering, was it uncomfortable sometimes for her to be observed by this interesting equipment? Like, was it easy for her to understand it, or was it a bit of a challenge to make her feel kind of less awkward?
We do our best in documentary to make a connection with our subjects. And what I wanted to do was introduce Justine to me alongside the camera, so she saw us as, you know, indivisible, or she got used to me being there and working. And I didn't hire a camera person, I shot it myself. And that was partly a kind of ethics decision as well, because I thought it needed the absolute minimum crew. So when I first met her, I remember the mum, I was quite nervous actually. Also, I didn't have experience with people with different neurologies like this. And I'd done some training over a period of the year to improve my own knowledge of how to be in those environments. And then when mum introduced me, I had my camera with me, and I didn't switch it on or anything because I'd obviously want her permission first. But Justine said yes to me and no to the camera initially. Because when I gestured towards it and see if she wanted to look at it or whether I could take a photo, and she started dancing and wanting to and singing ABBA. I wanted to record that because it felt like an important first impression. But because she didn't want that, it was all about the conversation.
I work with the lens of a musician who comes to teach music to like different care houses, and people vary from such conditions as completely being unaware and having quite a high functioning, let's say, autism, to people who have such disabilities as, let's say, an ability to hear and so on. So obviously it's a different kind of audience, but what falls into one group is really random. So I guess I have to be prepared
Yes.
for any sort of thing. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Got it. And these, you know, these words like autism and disability, I mean, they're such a kind of umbrella word or portmanteau word. I mean, what does that mean at all? And the thing I had to watch is that just becoming a label that doesn't really tell an audience anything. It can even be a stigma. So I didn't use that language. But what I did do was training with a woman called Kate Adams, and was in this kind of work. And have produced a lot of guidance and discussion about how to work with people of a range of neurologies and disabilities. So if it's new to you, if you're new to working with someone who's wired differently to so-called neurotypical, there are a lot of resources around that can help you get into that sort of mindset.